What's up, guys? Welcome to this episode of Pitching to Content, episode 14. I'm here with our new JV assistant coaches. Got the head coach over here, Aaron Colyer. Say hi.
How's it going, everybody?
There you go. Coach Kenyon, what's up, man?
Hi.
All right.
I was just waiting for the proper answer.
Way to not make it awkward, guys.
I'm new to this podcasting stuff, but
it's okay. We're going to make it work. But, we just needed the opportunity here. We got the dead period here to kind of finally sit down and relax as coaches because we've been going every Tuesday, Thursday. And you guys have been here since the very get-go. It's been awesome having you guys on board. Y'all done a phenomenal job. And we're going to get a lot better in the future moving forward just because of what you guys bring to the table. So, first off, thank you. That's the first thing everybody needs to say to you is thank you. And y'all did a rock star job. It was awesome. So,
well, I'm not gonna lie. So when I was kind of searching around looking for what school do I want to be at, I heard Clover Hill had a great podcasting network. So
we got all.
I'm not gonna lie. That's part of the reason I'm here.
Yeah,
so
it gives you an opportunity to do something a little extra. So we'll definitely take it. So. But that being said, guys, we want to kind of dig deep into where you got your background, where you got your baseball background. Both products of Manchester High School. Y'all came out okay. Mm-hmm. So we want to kind of get in your experience of that a little bit and just get to know you guys so the players know who you are. The parents know who you are, really. Yeah. They the more they know, the more they're going to be able to trust you guys a little bit. So, let's go ahead and dig into it. Let's dive in. We'll start with you, Aaron. Coach Colyer. Sorry, guys. Coach Colyer, not Aaron. Listen, I'm a
we talk way too much.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem. That's the problem. So, Coach, if you don't mind, just go back to your earliest baseball memories. Talk about how you got the start.
Earliest baseball memory.
Well, just talking about how you got the start in the game. What made you have some passion for the game? Where did it start?
I got to start with probably my earliest baseball memory too. So, first of all, I remember my very first game. It was coach pitch. We didn't have pitchers, didn't have anything, but I got to play pitcher. I stood on the back of the mound with the helmet on. Line drive hit up the middle. I caught the ball. Kid ran to third. I went and tagged second base, made a double play. First baseball game ever, made a double play.
Love it.
After the game, coach talking, I got the game ball. I was hooked ever since.
Yep.
Hooked ever since. So
it takes that sometimes, that one moment where like, okay, this is my game. And, that's how it started. How did it start for you, Coach?
Yeah, my earliest baseball memory would be in Little League. Way back when I was 10 years old, I hit my first home run. We were up on a team like 16-4.
Nice.
And I hit the first home run of my baseball career. And I remember asking my dad after the game, I was like, my home run's the reason we won, right?
In your mind it was.
My dad was like, no. No, not at all.
Yeah, well, that's good to have those memories. I had very similar ones as well. If I think back, I did a double play as a pitcher as well.
Yep.
Well, I didn't really know what I was doing, but I did it, and it was a big deal. And everybody was like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "What did I do?" Yeah. So, we all have those moments. So, talk a little bit, Aaron, Coach Colyer, about let's hear about how it developed from there. How it became a passion of yours, and you do a little bit of umpiring. You're obviously coaching a little bit. What got you to the point where you're going to stay in the game of baseball as an adult?
Yeah, I'm all three aspects of the game. I actually still play. I actually Coach Kenyon does here too.
Nice.
But I play, I umpire, I coach, and honestly, I would say my favorite part of the game is coaching. It's been fun developing the kids. I started coaching 4 or 5 years ago. However, the group that I'm with now, actually at Iron Bridge Academy, I started with them when they were 11.
Okay. And
to see them develop the past 3 years, that has absolutely made me just fall in love with the game, fall in love with coaching. And those kids, when we started, we weren't very good at first, but it's the process, the great game of baseball. It's what's got them to the point they're at now has made me just absolutely love it. And I want to be a baseball coach for the rest of my life.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I really, really do. And when we first started, I think our first year we were like 5-8. Then the next year we were like 8-8. Then I think 13-15. And then last spring we turned it up a little bit, 20-10.
There you go.
And
that's winning.
We just finished the fall 18-4.
There you
Won
go.
a couple
and
perfect game tournaments.
Keep those guys together. There's going to be a lot more winning going on from there.
Yep.
Just sounds like you're doing the right thing. That's what it sounds like. How about as a player? Like as a player, what kind of got you going and really made you fall in love to the point where you're holding on to the game?
Yeah, definitely. So I know you said first memory that you remember, double play. That was great.
Yeah.
I gotta go back to what he said. First home run there. First home run is what got me in love with baseball.
Oh, yeah.
I ask any kid, they love hitting.
It's a special feeling.
And I remember I think it was Huguenot Little League where I hit mine, center field right off the shed. I remember exactly where it was. So
nice.
But I mean, from there on, I was always a bigger kid, power hitter, and I love hitting home runs, even in high school.
Well, you played at Manchester,
yeah.
So I mean, who doesn't like hitting home runs at Manchester?
But the ball does not carry at Manchester like people think it does.
Okay.
No, I'm dead serious. Do you think it does?
No,
I hit more.
I couldn't tell you how many games I lost at Manchester because of some BS home run that
Well,
just squeaked over the fence.
Manchester's left field fence is like 250 feet. Like there's no carry. It's just that the fence is non-existent.
Literally, out of all the home runs I hit in high school, I only hit 2 at Manchester. One was a walk-off.
There you go.
Yeah.
I got to give you crap about it because
I know, but I'm telling you, it does. I also hit some off the fence that probably would have been going other places too because the ball just, I swear, does not carry.
Well, that's not been my experience when we play against Manchester. They always beat us because of some can of corn that we're camped under that just squeaks over.
The wind was probably blowing the other direction.
I remember we had players. It's kind of funny that like you only hit 2 home runs at Manchester because I remember we had players my senior year where they would hit a home run to left field at Manchester and you could see the ball sitting on the other side of the fence. Like it was a fly ball on a 300-foot fence.
It's the back of the fence. I couldn't tell you how many games we lost because of a stupid solo jack. I couldn't tell you. I mean, 11 years here. We're talking about, I'm starting to move to the second hand. How many times?
Definitely wasn't on a pass ball.
Pass balls. Oh, how many of those oh my God. Don't get me started. I heard they got a new backstop, but it's probably still pretty short, I imagine.
It's short, but they do have the square.
It's no longer a dome.
It's no longer a dome.
The shell little thing. So Coach, same question, man. What, you're obviously getting into coaching a little bit, after your college playing career, what got you interested in kind of keeping it going as a player?
Yeah, I mean, what really made me fall in love with baseball was even before college. I remember going into my first 2 years of high school, so this would have been the summer going into my junior year. So I just finished my sophomore season, and I think my GPA was like a 1.6.
Nice.
If I'm lucky.
Wouldn't play at Clover Hill.
It was like a 1.6 if I was lucky. And so that summer, my parents paid for me to go down to a Florida State camp, and it was a week-long camp. Nice. Like you stayed in the dorms.
Nice.
You ate in the cafeteria, and you basically played baseball all day. So just going and having that experience. I remember after coming home, I think I finished my high school academic career at like a 3.5.
Okay.
Like,
so
I mean,
it
just shot up from there. I was like, I want to play baseball.
It's like being in that slump and getting that one hit.
Getting
that 100 on the test, then you were golden from there.
Yeah, I mean, you could say it was the experience we had with baseball down at Florida State, or you could say it was watching the beach volleyball team practice after we were done playing.
Either way, a great experience.
I mean, one of those things made me want to go to college and keep playing baseball. So. But it was good, and I got my first coaching experience just instructing other guys on my team. Okay. I would see something in college. I'd be like, hey, it looks like you're doing this, and I discovered I really like teaching baseball. So
yeah. Well, I mean that's kind of the you talk to any coach around here, they know that the teaching piece is so huge, and really, I think the thing that you guys as young coaches are going to realize is that it's so much bigger than that, too. We talked about it a little bit before we came on today, just about the life lessons that you end up teaching these kids. And, it's not always just about the game and how the game relates to life. And the kids don't understand. Like, you guys, you don't understand this yet. You will one day. You'll realize that baseball made you into a man. Yep. But that's part of our job, is to kind of teach you how to be a man without actually putting it at the forefront. The things that we do when we hold them accountable to their grades, when we hold them accountable to being there on time and being there, wanting to be there, not finding a reason to not be there. When we're doing that, we're building life lessons.
And these kids aren't always going to have baseball, but being around that structure, being around baseball, being around what you do great at Clover Hill is going to turn these kids into great young men one day.
It's
great
practice.
Husbands one day, great workers one day. I mean, it truly is. It's always deeper than baseball.
It's great practice, and really that's why athletes are so much more employable than a random person. They're going to take an athlete who's been through some experience of some failure, had accountability on them, been fussed at. They're going to respond to that a whole lot better than somebody who didn't have athletics to fail, athletics to be held accountable. It just makes you more valuable, and you guys are going to learn that. You're already doing it. You don't even realize it. When you're talking to a kid, hey, how are your grades? You're doing something that nobody else is doing for them. Yep. And that's the other big piece to it, that you guys are new to the high school game, so you're going to get to just see that even more. And having that foundational baseball knowledge just makes you credible.
Yep.
So, really excited to have you guys on board. Like I said, having you guys here has been a blessing already. We had a great fall.
Yeah, we really did.
If y'all don't mind, y'all come from Manchester. You guys know kind of how they do their fall, how they do their off season. Kind of from your experience, without bashing Manchester, obviously, compare them. Compare what we do compared to what Manchester's done in the past from your experience.
It's not bashing at all, so don't take it this way.
Yeah.
However, with my travel kids, I have kids all over. Manchester, Powhatan, Cosby, all over the place. There is no one that's going year-round like us. And baseball is not a sport where you're going to get instant gratification. I'm not going to go from this type of player to this type of player. Like, it's going to take reps. And that's what I love what you do here. That's what I love what we do here. Every single day, every single week, we are grinding. And I see it with the kids. I see every single one of them getting better each week. And, honestly, that's honestly the difference.
Yeah.
That's 100% the difference. I asked a kid that goes to Manchester on my travel ball team. I said, hey, what are y'all doing with workouts? He's like, we're done. I'm like, you're done? They started in October and finished at the end of October.
Wow.
And we've been grinding since beginning of September.
Yeah, we're already talking about restarting on Thursday.
Yeah, I can't wait.
So, Coach, anything from your perspective? Like, what's the difference? Anything that stands out?
Yeah, no, I agree. That's kind of one of the reasons I was asking you about the dead periods and stuff, because just being at Manchester, that's kind of what we were used to. Is we would practice in October, and then come November, I was back to being a regular student until January.
Oh, yeah, we don't do that here. We grind out. We started a little later I gave him a couple weeks to kind of get acclimated to school this year. I think I gave him the first 2 weeks of school. Usually we start the first week, just because you could say you started the first week. But the second we started off light. If you guys remember, we were really light. I think we had like 16 guys the first day, but over the course of time, we built it to almost 35. It was a strong there at the Halloween game. We had a strong showing there, and we were missing a few guys. So, and they're still coming in. I got an 8th grader coming. I got another 8th grader coming on next Tuesday. And then, you're starting to, you get some, guy like, Grinny just shows up, here at the very end of the fall. So, it's still building. And, the thing is, we want to get them immediately, but sometimes you get stuck with like physical issues. Like their physicals are not done. And it's the little 8th grade problems that you get. And
we can always give the tools and lead the kids how we should, develop the kids how we should. But it always starts with them. Like, do they want to get better? And they absolutely do. They're coming to us after every practice. Can we practice tomorrow? Well, hey, Coach, you're going to be out there tomorrow?
The other thing I love about this group, too, is, I've never once taught them to shake a coach's hand after practice. And I always sometimes think like, well, okay, whatever, don't need to do that. But every single guy, without me, I never introduced that at all. I never told them they needed to, or suggested they do that to any coach. They just started a culture thing where they just started doing it. So you're talking about kids that appreciate what we're doing for them. And that means a lot, because if you appreciate what they're doing for you, you're going to give more out, and I think that's what we're getting out of our guys right now, is they appreciate what they're getting, because I think they don't know that they don't get it anywhere else. But I think they're starting to see, hey, these guys are giving us a lot of their time.
And you're doing a great job with your boys, too, by leading by example, because my young bucks, especially, there's a few that show up to practice and they especially at first, little nervous, kind of not necessarily out their show yet, but they're coming up to me, shaking my hand, like they're looking around like, oh, they're doing it.
That's what I'm supposed to do now. Yes. It's culture. That's what culture is. And it starts with handshaking. And then it goes into, hey, I'll say it, bunning. Hey, bunning is something that my seniors do, and they're doing it good. Guess what? The young guys are like, okay, that's how we win. That's how we need to do it. So it branches off from there, gets a lot bigger. It's culture. It's culture. It's behavior in the school. It's behavior. It's getting good grades, and they want to be there. That's the bottom line. They want to be there, and I think we're doing a great job together of cultivating that environment of let's keep it going. And I guarantee those guys are not having a good time this week. They probably want to be at baseball.
Oh, 100%.
So we'll just keep on rolling on Thursday. We'll start on Thursday, and it's boom. But it's time to lock in on some competitiveness. We were talking on the phone earlier. We're going to be competitive in practice. From now on, it's like, okay, we're going to give points. We're going to put teams together so you're accumulating points and getting against each other.
Kids love that stuff.
Yeah, we got to make it happen. So not to switch gears out of the fall, but I did want to touch on that at some point during this episode. Was just talk about how good the fall went. It was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. You guys were a big piece of that, and very proud of the program. Very proud of how it went. Because
one week without baseball. Sorry to cut you off, but my wife is decorated for Christmas. have watched 10 Hallmark movies. I am so ready for Thursday.
Yeah, I can't believe I walked in there Sunday and Aaron goes, "Merry Christmas." And I look up, I'm like, "Why is your tree out?" It's November, like 5th.
Yeah, my wife did the same kind of. She was a couple days behind Aaron's wife, but they're on the same page.
They're going to get along just fine.
They will be just fine.
Oh yeah.
So guys, really moving forward, I just want to kind of touch on when. What are you going to do with the game? Like, what's your plan? Do you want to be Coach Mooney's assistant for the rest of your career? What do you want to do with your baseball coaching career moving forward? Chris, we're going to start with you this time.
Oh, you start with me?
Yeah.
It's interesting. The most joy I get out of baseball, at least from the coaching perspective, is teaching. Mm-hmm. I don't quite know if I have the bandwidth to be a head coach, mm-hmm. So it's like I told Aaron, I was like, this thing that we have at Ironbridge and Clover Hill is going to work out great because you want to be the head coach and I don't want to be the head coach.
There you go. Yep.
But yeah, as long as I just get to keep teaching, that's the main plan for me.
You'll always have a job at Clover Hill, coaching with me. As long as that's your mentality, you got a place to be. And
don't worry, I'm not gunning for your job.
No. You can have the job. If you're the better guy, you're the better guy. But I'll tell you what, your mindset is great. My favorite time coaching. I love being a head coach. It's a chore. It's challenging, but being an assistant coach, when I do Legion over the summer, I have so much more fun because I'm not all worried about the wins and losses, the ins and outs, all the moving parts. You can kind of just let the head coach handle that, and you focus on teaching. And I feel like I'm a better teacher of the game, in game, as an assistant coach because I'm just taking every situation and coaching them up on the bench, taking every situation over in the first base coaching box and teaching them up. I love it too. So I'm with you on that. I completely understand. There's a lot of crap that you do as a head coach that is not very sexy. I'm not gonna lie, it's not. So, Coach, same question, man. What do you think? Where are you going with this? What do you think?
Yeah, so I think I've told you before. Obviously, this fall has been great. I mean, this year has been great, and you got me now. You know what I mean? You got me locked in 100% right now, and I take everything year by year. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I have no intentions on leaving. Granted, I mean, if I got the call, I mean, I never know. You never know, but in terms of just the whole entire thing, I mean, I love teaching. I love developing the kids. My wife calls it something. My personality that I'm a head coach. Like I am. Like I want to lead. I want to make the lineups. I want to and I'm good at it too. You know what I mean? I'll give myself the credit. I'm very, very good at it. And I don't know where it's going to take me, but like I said earlier, baseball is my life. I've completely constructed my life around it, and that's what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And all I know is I don't know where I'm going to be in 5 years, but I'm in the best starting point with you.
Yeah, well, here at Clover Hill, we have a reputation. This is something I take pride in. I'm proud of this. We build coaches. I want my coaches to learn the game, to play at the high school level. I mean, you're coaching the high school level. This is a different type of game. Yeah. So I really try to not just teach my players, but hey, coaches, these are things that work. These are things that don't work. Should be our goal. And we've had a track record of being pretty good at pumping out some pretty solid coaches, head coaches, varsity coaches. Coach Wilkerson came here. I wouldn't say unexperienced. We had very minimal experience with JV. He came and been my JV coach. Next thing you know, he put a couple of years on. Next thing you know, he's a head varsity coach over at Hermitage, and now he's a head coach over at Thomas Dale. His assistant when he came on was Coach Q, who's now the head coach over at Lafayette and Williamsburg. So these guys are elevating themselves. Coach Meade, I mean he's a head coach for American Legion over at 201. Coach King, he's already applied for a couple varsity jobs. He's taking some time off right now, but he is a high school varsity baseball caliber coach. He was my associate head coach the last 2 years. So he was getting that experience to kind of take over. So my job as the head coach is not just to teach the boys. I'm here to help you guys and help give you the experience to help advance you. But obviously, I love to stay with you guys forever. Have you guys with me. As a JV coach is great. There's a need for that. But one day, I'd love for the opportunity to pop up for you where, hey, Coach, I need to make a career move here. I want that for you. When that opportunity comes, I'm going to be the first one writing a letter of recommendation to get your butt out of here because I want that
as long as my key still works at the podcast room.
And that's the funny thing. We do a podcast on the side, and it's me, Coach Wilkerson, Coach King, Coach Meade, and I'll bring you guys in as we go. You usually don't want to do more than 4 people in a podcast, so we're going to have that's what we do. It's actually now a bunch of different coaches on the table. So It's just really cool to, be able to watch my coaches. I have a network of coaches because I got into it because of my high school coach.
Yep.
And he helped me develop my personality in coaching. And now I'm actually be able to pass it on to others. And we have a network now of guys who are head varsity coaches. So love to see that for you guys down the road, obviously, not now, however many years it takes. But for the time being, immediately for an indefinite amount of time, let's do this thing together. And I'm excited. I can't compliment you guys enough on how well y'all did this fall. If without you two showing up at our door this year, it would have been just me, and y'all saw that. And I could do it, but I would have had a lot more stress, and it would not have been as productive. So thank you guys again. That was freaking awesome, the job that y'all did this fall.
We got your back. So
yeah, I appreciate that. Well, let's kind of switch gears a little bit. Obviously that's the baseball side of how things go. Mm-hmm. Let's talk a little about what we do for to make money, because we don't make money in coaching. So Coach, tell us a little about your job.
Yep. So I'm very blessed to work in a great family company. We own residential homes for adults with special needs. We have 4 houses, and then we also just started supported living homes where we have individuals that live in apartment complexes, but they don't necessarily need the full 24/7 direct support. Mm-hmm. It's kind of my job to manage those apartments, go over there during the day, and help them clean or go grocery shopping or take them to appointments, and off by 2:00 at the ball field. But
thank God your mom made that happen for you.
I know, because I've been trying for a few years to make that happen. So good. it's we finally got it right, and everything's going good.
Good, so. Excellent. Well, sounds like a good job. I mean, it sounds like
it's very rewarding.
I was about to say it has to be rewarding. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're dealing with people with special needs, and obviously there's a level of reward that comes with working with those individuals. They need that assistance. I mean, we were talking about the individual in your vehicle today, who was having a blast in the back. You told me she was blind and deaf.
Yep.
But you're the one who's helping her live her life, and that's just got to be there's a burden there, but at the same time, she has somebody, and I think that's cool that you get to be that somebody for a lot of people.
That's the very rewarding part about that. It's I mean, most of the time everything's great, but I mean, you have that occasional just like freak out time. And
of course, wait till you have kids. It's the same thing.
Yeah, no, I know, but I know a lot of people can't necessarily deal with that, and I think that's actually my job is training. I'm going to be a daggone good dad because I've learned so much patience from doing this. I've been doing this. God, it's crazy. I just turned 26. Yeah, I've been doing this for like 7 years now. Wow. So that's crazy.
Experience is the best teacher.
I'm getting old.
Yeah, you are. Not as old as this guy right here. Coach, same thing, man. What do you do for a living? How do you make your money?
Yeah, I work for the state IT agency. I do mostly cybersecurity and risk management. So,
new job, right?
Yeah, new job.
Just got the promotion.
Yep. I started as an intern, then went to part-time, and then they just offered me a full-time position there.
Time to get paid.
Yeah, time to get paid. Mostly what I do there is I work with other heads of state agencies and oversee their cybersecurity training, development. If they need to get new systems or software and they have to write out system security plans and stuff for that, I help with that too. And then they also, I don't know if report's the right word, but they basically report to me with that stuff. So they're sending me all of their audits, business impact analysis, risk action plans.
Those are a lot of adult words right there. A lot of adult
the
words.
Kids are going to get lost, but it's a lot, but it's really fun.
That's cool, man. That's really neat. Mm-hmm. There's definitely my brother's in network security, and he's loaded. So you're going to be doing all right here in your future. Here, you got your foot in the door. Just got to get you paid.
Yeah,
after baseball games, you can take me out.
That's right. That's right. Team dinner. Coach Kenyon's got it because he's got the real job.
Yeah. If any of y'all are going to college, look into IT and computer science.
There you go. Were you always on that track?
No. I actually started computer science my freshman year of school. Coding really wasn't for me. I enjoyed it up until we got to about the 300 level classes, and then it kind of got out of my depth a little bit. So I switched to political science. Political science was not for me. No. So from there I switched to, I actually changed schools because I was done playing baseball. I played my 4 years and I was done. So I actually changed schools, and they had a cybersecurity degree. And so I pursued that path, and that's what I used to get the internship, and now here we are.
There you go. And that's a good lesson to learn. Like, you got to follow where the money is, guys. You got to understand it in your time. I want to be a teacher, baseball coach. Cool. But there's not much money in it. If you want to make a good living for yourself, you got to find where the money is. If it's being a plumber these days, that's where the money is, because you're not paying for college. You got to make some good choices like you made to get yourself in the right position. And it's not going to happen at the right time, all at the right times. You have to let life happen a little bit, stumble a little bit, just like in the game of baseball, and jump back on the horse and get going. So it sounds like you were able to recover from some challenging decisions.
Oh yeah, it was especially when COVID hit in 2020. I mean, that was just a challenging part of my life. And I think the biggest takeaway I took from it, from my freshman year of college until now, is the path is not always straight. But you got to be adaptable, and you got to get back up and just keep pushing, and eventually you're going to get there. Yeah. And if I got there, I mean, anybody can get there.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you've had some moments in your life. You talked about your grade point average in high school, where you get yourself on track. You might stumble off the path, like you said, but you get on a path that's the right one, and it sounds like you've kind of hit the stride in adulting. So that's good to see. I love working with the young guys, because you're talking about purchasing a new car. I purchased a few new ones already. And there's challenges that you're going to face, and you're going to make some good decisions, some bad decisions, even as an adult. And you buy an automatic Mustang, you messed up when you wanted to be driving a stick. So
maybe if you're Coach Colyer, but I'll be perfectly happy with my automatic.
I'm with you on that. As much as I drive, it's like I don't want to mess with that. So I'm not worried about going fast. I'm worried about getting to work.
I can't say what I want to on this podcast.
He likes his cars. So Coach, really, that's kind of y'all's background, what y'all do for a living. We have personal lives. The time that we spend away from our families and our loved ones is usually with these boys, and we love that. We're not saying, we're trying not to hold that against these boys, but it's part of what we do. We love being. It's part of our personality. We're baseball coaches. That's what we want to do. We love teaching. We love being, in the game. But part of that is being away from our families. And that's really tough sometimes for us as coaches. There's going to be times where I'm going to have you pick me up, because I got to go pick up my daughter. So I need you to take over my team and handle things. So there's a kind of a give and take there. But these boys, I think they need to hear a little bit about, you're a married man. Yep. Tell us about your wife a little bit. Which, let me say this before we start this. I've heard nothing but good things. All right. She needs to hear that right here, because I know she's going to listen to this. I've heard nothing but good things. And I've heard some things that he's not bragging on that I would be like, man, that is a rock star of a wife. She sounds so supportive of your baseball. Please talk about her a little bit.
Yeah, I'll start off by saying it's Sunday is our 2 years anniversary.
Nice 2 years.
So I get him this Sunday. Call of Duty comes out tonight, so I get him this Sunday. So we got 2-year anniversaries on Monday, actually.
I wish I had better internet. If I had better internet, I'd be there with you guys. But, man, that's good.
So, like you said, she will listen to this, so happy anniversary, Katie.
There you go. But, he said it. He didn't forget.
So just like our kids will do, I mean, you're going to go through some tough times in your life, just like you said during COVID. Very tough time in your life. When I was 20 years old, I was going through a very, very tough time in my life. And I remember praying. I was like, God, help me. Like, what's going on? Just I don't even know. Like, I couldn't even tell you what was going on. But I met Katie like 2 days later.
Wow.
And she was walking her dog Lexi, my dog Lexi now.
That's your dog, yeah.
But and I remember I talked to her, I exchanged phone numbers, and I called my mom right after that conversation. I said, Mom, I just met my future wife. My mom was she told that story at our wedding. But ever since then, I mean, my wife has been nothing but supportive. I mean, with every single thing I do, he bring up Call of Duty. She'll come in there and watch me play MLB The Show, and
really?
Like, she'll be like, "All right, come on, dude,
you got yourself a winner."
But in terms of baseball, she knows. Like, I mean, she knew before we got married. We had the conversation. I was like, "Are you ready to be a baseball wife?" She's like, "If it makes you happy, 100%." And hopefully, she hears this after she reads the anniversary card. But that's one of the things I wrote. It's like, "Thank you for loving me and letting me do what I love, because I truly could not be me." Without you. You know what I mean? Like, because this baseball thing, there's so much work and so much time that goes into it. And if I don't have that support system, I can't give my best. And I don't want to put that pressure on her because you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
I do.
Just her support is like, I mean, it's awesome.
It's huge, man.
Yeah.
It's huge.
I mean, well, literally when I first started, all our outdoor practices with the kids, like she was at every single practice. She hasn't missed one tournament, one daggone tournament.
That's impressive. That's impressive.
But I mean, in terms of that, couldn't live without her. She's awesome. I love her to death. So,
yeah, that's
Katie,
awesome.
if you're listening to this,
she's going to listen.
Yeah.
I know, knowing Katie, she's going to listen to this. I don't even know her that well. I know she's going to listen to this. Yeah. But piggybacking off of that a little bit, when I got married, I brought all my high school coach, my college coach came to my wedding, and I took during one of the speeches, I told my coaches' wives, because obviously they're baseball women too, because they're my coaches, and their wives. And I was like, I need y'all to talk to her at some point just to coach her up, because you guys have lived it. She's living with me now. Just give her your experience, give her some insight. And my wife's great too. She as a coach with a young family, she takes on the burden of the family when I have to be away. And having a supportive wife is huge. So,
and your wife is outstanding too, because like I said, my wife is amazing. However, kids haven't come in the picture yet. So your wife is also a rock star.
Yeah,
as well,
trust me. She might not listen to this because she's heard a few of these things. She knows what I talk about. So, but she might. I might cut this part of the episode out and let her listen to it. I talked about you.
Yeah, there you go.
So, but Chris, kind of the same thing, man. What's your you have a personal thing going on? What's going on? I don't see a ring on your finger.
Yeah, I do have a girlfriend. Who has been very supportive through all of this.
Good.
She knows how much I love baseball,
yeah.
and she's always like, if it's what's gonna make you happy, then go do it. And she's like, I'm not gonna tell you no if it's something that's gonna make you happy. So it's good to have that.
Yeah, I've had girlfriends that were the opposite. Like when I was a young coach and I had a girlfriend once. I was dragging the field because how much I love my field. She was waiting for me, and she came to the field, was cross-armed, and just tapping her foot. And the coaching staff was kind of still there, and they just got a kick out of me just continuing to drag the field while she was sitting there waiting on me. I'm like, and she hated it. That's why it didn't work out.
Look, I'll say this because the boys will go through heartbreak at some point, but honestly, the reason I did not go play college baseball was because of a girl.
That'll happen.
Yep.
So I mean, it's part of life, fellas.
I got told if you go to college, we're breaking up. Yeah, and what the frontal lobe? Is that what it's called?
The frontal
lobe. We were
lobe.
talking about that today.
The frontal cortex of your brain.
The frontal cortex. I didn't know what the
it wasn't developed, and you're like, okay.
And I bring that up strictly because, I mean, kids, if y'all are listening, y'all are probably going to go through heartbreak in your time. And learn it from me. Everything happens for a reason. And I don't regret a daggone thing. I wish I could go back and play baseball. That I do regret. However, how my life has turned out, I wouldn't be in this situation right now if it wouldn't have happened.
Exactly.
Like, I wouldn't have been able to start working with my company. I wouldn't have been at the school I was at. I mean, I literally, everything happens for a reason. So.
And like Coach said, that path is not always straight. You get some bumps in the road.
It's never going to be straight.
Everything happens for a reason. I mean, it sounds so cliche, and I hate cliches, but that's so true in life. You guys haven't lived much life yet, but those of us who have lived a lot of life and been through those things, God, you just got to keep plugging through and just pushing through it and know that there's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel. No matter what the situation is, you're going to get there, and you just got to pick yourself up and keep on going and do what you love. Do what you love and love the people around you.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's always good to have a plan A, but have a plan B, C, D, and E too. And sometimes you got to make those plans on the fly.
Yep.
I mean,
it's almost like writing a lineup when you got a guy hurt. Who's the next guy? What's the next plan? So Coach, you and I go back farther than I think we realize, because I knew your dad when I first moved over here to coach at Clover Hill. Yep. Your dad was one of the first guys I met when I got here. So, talk about your experience with your dad and his experience with coaching.
Yeah. So my experience with my dad goes back to, I would say 2008, 2007, 2008. My dad was an instructor up at Rise Baseball. And this is before James and Chris were even there. This was back when it was Josh Scarborough and Phil Wilson. Sergio was up there too, and then my dad.
Yep.
So he would be gone on Wednesday nights, Thursday nights, instructing.
Yep.
And when I hit about 8 years old, he started taking me up there too, and that's kind of where my first real experience was with it. I mean, he was always asking me to like go outside and play catch and go hit. and all things like that. But I think what I liked the most was when I hit about 14, 13, 14, he was like, all right, I'm out the dugout. You know, he stepped away. Yeah, he checked out. And not that I hated him coaching. I don't want to get that twisted, but he understood that because there's other parents out there, and I'm sure you've seen it, where they're going to play whatever game that they have to in order to get their kid in the position they want to get their kid in. Mm-hmm. And my dad was not going to do that. No. I mean, he made some enemies along the way because of it, but you know, I respect him for it, and I think I'm a better person for it entirely. But
even if that was never his mindset, you're still that's still going to be used against you. I mean, I hear it all the time too, and I hate to cut you off. I'm so sorry,
no,
but good. That's one thing I don't do. I don't do dad coaches. Yeah. I just don't. And I started with dad coaches when the kids were younger, but as they got older, it's like I don't do dad coaches, and I haven't met one kid either that was like, I want my dad to coach. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like there was a certain incident where I actually didn't have a coach a few weeks back, and I asked one of the kids' dads just to help me for that tournament. The kid's like, no, please. And then I called Coach Kenyon.
Yep, and there you go.
He came out there the very next tournament. We went 3-0, won a championship, and I think he's hooked. So,
and that's another cool thing about the high school game that you guys are getting involved in, is that the parents, you know, and this podcast is for the parents, and you know, you try to eliminate, you know, the parents' involvement, if you will, with the day-to-days. You know, this is on us and the boys now. You know, I do have a dad on staff, you know, Coach Powell, but he was here well before his son was even playing here. You know, he was kind of already established, and because he wanted to be involved, and let's go. And even his role is kind of still going to be not involving his son. You know, it's going to be more, you know, just, you know, helping the whole program. But you know, when it comes to this level, the parent kind of does step off the side and let the kids play a little bit. They have to have some trust in us, and that's why we're doing this podcast, so they can build a relationship with us, get to know us better, so that trust can be developed over, okay, now I understand where you're coming from. You do have a wife at home. You're making your sacrifices. Parents hearing that is going to help them trust us a little bit more. And they have to develop that, because at some point, it's not daddy ball anymore. You know, there's very rare cases where it does happen, but you know, it just doesn't happen as much at this level. So it becomes a little bit, it reflects the college game. You know, mom and dad do not interject at all in the college game. They don't like what coach did. Too bad. You know, and we're not saying that's what happens here. It's not, because if a parent has an issue, talk to us. We'll talk about it. I have no problem talking about it. I'm just not going to play any games. You know, I'm going to tell you what's on my mind. I'm going to use an educated, you know, experienced approach to tell you why I'm doing what I'm doing, and we're going to do what we need to do. So, you know, hopefully our parents that are listening to this, you kind of hear that's our approach. We value what you say, but we have a plan, and we talk about it. As a varsity head coach, I'm also part of the JV staff. You guys have a guy that you're trying to elevate. Come tell me, I'll help you guys do that. Yep. But I'm going to support you guys. So if you have an issue with a parent, you know, at the end of the day, I'm going to get involved, because this is ultimately, I don't want to stamp it my program, but you know, I'm the leader of this program. I've been burdened sometimes with that responsibility of making sure I'm taking care of it. So I'm an extension of your staff as well.
Knock on wood. Never had any issues with parents. I don't think anyone's going to have an issue with me, and it's just more so my style and everything. And your kids are in really good hands. Like I said, this is deeper than baseball. I'm going to give them the tools. I'm going to develop them, but we're also, like, it's deeper than baseball. We're going to teach them how to be decent human beings, and I haven't ever had an issue with a parent, but like Mooney said, if you ever do have an issue, come talk to me. I'll gladly talk about it. Yep. And I'm very straightforward, very, very to the point, and I think a lot of people respect that too.
Yeah, they do. They really do, because over the 11 years I've been here, I've had one issue with the parent. One. And it was something that was resolved so simply. It was not even a big deal, because we established it with the parents that we got your boys. We're going to give them the best experience in high school baseball that you can get anywhere near this place. You're going to get the best here. And I think they believe that because they see it. Yep. They see how much their kid loves coming to practice. What kid loves going to practice? Our kids. Our kids love it. And they get the nicest things. We take care of them. We fundraise for them. We give them a great experience here. And the coaches that we bring in, like you guys, are top-notch people. I'm not going to bring just random guys in here. You know, this was a work in progress making this happen. And the guys I've had in the past are same thing. Great people. And, you know, like Coach said, kids are in good hands. They're in great hands, and we'll take care of them. We'll take care of them.
I got to touch on what Mooney said real quick too. No other school in the county is fundraising, pretty much using the hard-earned fundraiser money for the kids. We're getting the kids cleats, we're getting the kids team batting gloves, we're getting the kids team bats.
Yeah.
Me and Coach Kenyon, we played at Manchester. We ever get bats?
He got us team fertilizer.
Yeah. We didn't get bats, we didn't get batting gloves, we didn't get nothing, and that's the best part about this whole thing. We are truly here for the kids.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So,
and we've evolved in that too, because there was a time when we were trying to build the facility. A lot of the money went towards the facility, which is I would say one of the nicest facilities around based on what we've done to it, the upgrades we've made.
Yep.
But there came a point where it was like, you know what, I got to stop spending money on the facility and give it. I say put it back on the boys, give it back to the boys, and it comes with new practice uniforms. This year we're trying cleats, batting gloves, we've got bats. They get a pair of shorts and a T-shirt, Under Armour. Nobody else gets that for free. I mean, that's their money, so it's not really free. They earned it, but they don't have to pay for it. So it's like nobody else does that, and we're going to continue to give them things and make sure they have the nicest, newest things. So that's just part of what we do. It's part of the experience, and at the end of the day, our job is to provide your son, not just talking to parents, but players, provide you with the best possible baseball experience that we can provide within our means. And sometimes our means are limited, but for the most part, we can give you a great one, and we're going to do that. That's mission number one. It's going to happen. You're going to have a good experience. You'll be a good little league coach one day too, hopefully. So fellas, from there, we're kind of here on the 40-minute mark, 41-minute mark. I want to start thinking about wrapping it up, but any final thoughts, anything that stands out? If you want to talk about yourself, any final thoughts about what, you've seen in the program, what things you see going forward? Any final thoughts you want to throw out there?
I want to say we pretty much touched on all of it, everything that's kind of impressed me. I think fundraising was a great way to kind of close the conversation as well, because that really shows you, hey, we've been developing, we've been working with the kids. Hey, guess what? We're also fundraising for the kids.
Yep.
And the whole experience, like I said, it's just been outstanding. I truly love pulling up on Tuesdays and Thursdays and getting right to work. And it's the best part about it. Like I went back to talking about my Ironbridge guys, the development, and just in a short period of time, I'm seeing every single kid I've worked with develop, and they want to too.
Yep.
And that's the best part. I'm so excited to develop them, work with them this year, next year, and send them off to such a great varsity guy too. Like I said, I'm Team Cloverhill.
Yep.
I'm here.
I love it.
I'm here for the program, so I'm very excited to see what we can do as a staff this year, and I'm just ready to rock and roll.
It's a building thing. We're a young group in that JV group. It's going to be we take some lumps. That's going to happen in the game of baseball. You're going to take some lumps, but can you stay competitive through your lumps? And that's what we're going to teach them this year. You take it on the chin, get back up, let's go. You're fighting every day, no matter who your opponent is.
Baseball is a crazy game.
It's crazy.
A lot of ups and downs.
Coach, any final thoughts?
I liked how we touched on things that players and coaches like ourselves learn as we continue to go through this game. I think one big thing is time management. We touched on balancing families and baseball and work and all of that, and it really starts when you start playing the game. You got practice and you got school, and then when you go to college, you got to balance time for maybe a part-time job and go to practice, hang out with your buddies, do schoolwork. It's time management is something that is going to be essential throughout your entire life, and it's something that you are going to learn from the time you start playing baseball. Well,
that's what we're here to do. That's our job. And, kind of wrapping things up, first of all, I got to say it again. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for what you're providing to this program. It's yours now. It belongs to you. So thank you guys for being a part of it. Thank you guys for actually listening to this. The players that sat through 43 minutes of this, thank you. Parents, thank you for tuning in and listening to what we have to say about the experience we're going to provide your boys. And, we're going to do this again. We're hopefully go through some other topics, kind of moving forward, talk about the off-season, preseason, whatever, kind of projecting what we're doing. Love to do another couple podcasts, but this one specifically just to introduce you guys and who you guys are as people. I think we checked that box. So, guys, thanks for jumping on the podcast today, and we'll do this again next time.
Players appreciate it. Parents can't wait to meet all of y'all. So thank y'all, Coach.
All right, guys. Thank you.